Part 49. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the Beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 481. He. No matter how disabled you are, I still have 6 leaders here. But there is only one on your side. Do you think I will give in easily with just a few words from you? Bai Zi teased. Helpless, Zhang Tianyuan sighed. Well, it seems that no one of us can convince anyone. Then finally, let's decide the winner here. Having said that, Zhang Tianyuan took the first step. Under his urging, the star god slowly raised an arm made of a triangle. Then, with a gentle squeeze, something seemed to be tightened inside. Above the universe, a ball of fire fell. It's a meteorite. When Bai Zi saw it, he quickly said, "Spread out." The 6 commanders jumped towards different positions. This meteorite was covered with blue light and was summoned by the star god using his mind power. Fortunately, the commanders dodged in time and were not hit by the meteorite. Wrong. But Bai Zi raised his head again, and several red dots in his pupils were gradually enlarging. After the bombing of that meteorite, several more meteorites were summoned by the star god. This time, the range is too dense. Hyperjeton used teleportation to dodge, and Dowdy directly changed into his shield form and withstood it forcefully, but also suffered heavy damage. The Holy Spirit King Dragon was carrying Aurora. His body was relatively flexible and he was not hit. But Kunpeng and Gadaji, who were the most seriously injured, were not so lucky. The meteorite hit them directly, and with an explosion, the 2 creatures disappeared into the competition venue. How about Bai Zi? Now, do you still think there is a possibility of winning? Zhang Tianyuan showed a playful smile. 6 against 1 suddenly became 4 against 1. Bai Zi narrowed his eyes. It's not over yet. The 4 commanders listened to the order and surrounded us from different positions. Hearing this, Hyperjeton, Dowdy, and the combination of Holy Spirit King Dragon and Aurora dispersed. Dowdy transformed into a sword form, bearing the brunt of the attack and walking in the front row. Aurora combined with the Holy Spirit King Dragon to continuously release long-range skill attacks from the flanks. The same was true for Hyperjeton, with his pincers crossed, and dark fireballs kept attacking. When it hit the star god, the glazed body continued to make clear and sweet knocking sounds, and bursts of explosions occurred. But Star God only shook a few times and seemed uninjured. Sudden. A golden light stabbed from above. The dazzling arc-shaped light cut the Star God from top to bottom. Dowdy's dancing sword made a handsome turn and disappeared nearby again. I saw that the struck Star God began to split from the position of the golden line, and was cut into 2 parts vertically. The sound of glass breaking echoed in the audience's ears. A group of spectators cheered continuously, but Bai Zi did not move at all. Because he has the eyes of the gods, he knows that it is not that simple. Really? The body that was about to split to both sides in the next second suddenly closed again at this moment. And it was completely intact, with no trace at all, as if it had never been cut off by Dowdy. Dowdy gritted his teeth, his expression a little wary. The roar outside the field stopped abruptly at this moment. The slash just now had no effect on the star god. His recovery ability is too strong. Weakness, where is the weakness? Bai Zi's Eye of God was activated, constantly observing the star god's body up and down. He can detect weaknesses. Such a behemoth will definitely have weaknesses. No chance Bai Zi. You know, the Star God clan was once regarded as the gods above the starry sky. Ordinary creatures have no chance of defeating them. As Zhang Tianyuan said, the Star God moved again. In an instant, crystal fragments floated around it. Glowing with glazed color, pointed and sparkling. Whoosh whoosh. Crystal shards began to fall. Under the control of Star God, the attack range is too dense. Dowdy once again transformed into his shield form, dodged and stood in front of the three commanders. It had eaten a lot of attacks, and its already severely injured body seemed to be stumbling. Unfortunately, under the cover of crystal fragments, several glazed tentacles sneaked up from behind. The leaders did not react, and the Holy Spirit King Dragon was directly tied up. The latter didn't have time to call out, and kept spraying emerald green beams of light from his mouth in an attempt to break free. However, the glazed tentacle healed quickly after being penetrated by the beam. The Holy Spirit King Dragon was wrapped around in circles by the tentacles, and was gradually wrapped like a rice dumpling. Immediately, the tentacles began to be recycled. The Holy Spirit King Dragon was unable to break free. When the other leaders noticed, other tentacles also surged up. They resisted the attack of the tentacles and had no time to save the Holy Spirit King Dragon. At the last moment, the Holy Spirit King Dragon threw Aurora away, saving her from double destruction. At the referee's table, Principal Tianzhou gradually became unable to sit still. Seeing the Holy Spirit King Dragon being surrounded, he was eventually swallowed up by the tentacles and disappeared completely. There were only 3 commanders left on the field. Aurora jumped on Doughty's back and stood firm. 2 high-level commanders, plus 1 top commander, are all in a state of severe disability. He was going to deal with one, a peak leader in full condition. This scene made the audience in Surin province suffocate. Why were you so fine just now? After a while, Bai Zi was at a disadvantage. Bai Zi, the last 3 creatures. Let me send you off completely, Zhang Tianyuan shouted. Crystal fragments flew all over the sky, and fire came from afar from time to time. Bai Zi's pupils glowed with golden light. Just as Zhang Tianyuan said before, no creature is without weaknesses. As long as you find its weakness and prescribe the right medicine, you can take it down in one wave. There is no time. Doughty, take Aurora up to find the weakness. Hyperjeton, this last chance is up to you. Bai Zi is sure that the Star God will definitely have weaknesses. The previous Mechagodzilla seemed to have no weaknesses, but in fact, the weaknesses were hidden in the body. Looking forward, Doughty spread his wings, surrounded by swords and shields, and jumped up again. Aurora's longbow was fully charged, and the death of the Holy Spirit King Dragon made her very angry. In an instant, the rain of arrows swept away, and a silver-white beam burst out of Doughty's mouth. After a round of bombing, the Star God's body that was pierced continued to heal. There was only half an hour left in the game. Doughty and Aurora were exhausted and had no strength to fight again. Seeing countless crystal fragments coming, Aurora's pupils glowed purple. She fell with Doughty, as if she was about to fall into the endless darkness and be swallowed by the deep universe. However, the longbow in her hand never stopped. A green arrow shot out, facing the falling fragments. It pierced through the neck of the Star God. Just this arrow opened a small hole in the neck. Bai Zi's God's eye immediately reacted, and a ball of red flashed by. It was a sphere. At the neck of the Star God, there was a starry sky-colored sphere. Found it, that ball is his weakness. Hyperjeton. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. Creation of the world, binding God simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 482. Boom. The breath of annihilation spread, and the chaotic energy surrounded Hyperzeton. It changed its posture, and 2 double sickles appeared. Immediately, it moved its feet, and the majestic power rose steadily. After the last round of explosion, Hyperzeton was also seriously injured. However, the weakness has been revealed, so it has no worries. Just one blade can completely cut it off. The star god noticed the opponent's attack and attacked like a tide. Death Sickle Jeton kept dodging, teleporting, defending, and using double sickles to cut off the crystal fragments. Even a meteorite that fell would be disintegrated into 4 petals under its dark starlight. In the venue, countless spectators watched Death Sickle Jeton go up, and the star god attacked continuously, and their hearts were raised to their throats. Zhang Tianyuan scolded, seeking death. The star god suddenly raised his arm and swung it downwards. Death Sickle Jeton flashed and avoided the opponent's bombardment. The 2 sickles passed by, along the arm, and made a sizzling sound like rubbing against glass. The last teleportation finally arrived at the neck of the star god. Zhang Tianyuan widened his eyes, as if he realized something. But the Death Scythe Jeton did not give him any chance to defend. The 2 sickles crossed, and the black light slashed in the middle and condensed, and shot straight out. Many viewers stood up and stared at the screen. The black slash cut the neck of the star god, and the star-colored bead was exposed. Some creators recognized what it was at a glance. Core. That star-colored bead is the core of the star god's telekinesis and continuous regeneration. Once the core is destroyed, the star god will disintegrate instantly. Generally speaking, the core of the star god is in different parts of the body, and each star god is not fixed. If it weren't for Aurora's purple pupil technique just now to observe the weakness of the star god, Bai Zi would not have been able to find it so quickly. You actually know the core of the star god, Zhang Tianyuan was shocked. Seeing the slash approaching the core, Zhang Tianyuan raised his voice, "Wait, stop." At the same time, all the audience, whether from Sulan province or Yanyuan province, they couldn't help but cover their mouths, their pupils dilated. It's time to decide the winner. The next moment, a crisp shattering sound was heard. The black starlight penetrated, passing away quickly like a meteor. The star god stood there, motionless. Seeing this scene, the eyes of the audience in Yanyuan province gradually dimmed, and their faces were full of despair. The sound just now was definitely the core of the star god cracking. Could it be that in the end, Zhang Tianyuan had fought for so long, but he was still going to lose? He. But suddenly, Zhang Tianyuan laughed. Bai Zi, you are really easy to deceive. Bai Zi's expression was stunned, and his expression was strange. What? He glanced up and suddenly realized that the bead that should have been chopped to pieces by the Death Scythe Jeton with the light slash. It just cracked, but it didn't break. You. Fortunately, I made 2 preparations. Zhang Tianyuan paused. Before the star god appeared, I superimposed a defensive prop card on him in advance, so that your attack would not destroy the core in one go. But I have to admire you for actually finding the core of the star god in a short time. I think my preparation is right. To deal with you, I must go all out. Zhang Tianyuan raised his head and took a long breath of air. He has already smelled the taste of victory. Now, it's finally over. Star god, give it the last blow. Zhang Tianyuan raised his arm and pointed his finger forward. After releasing that move, the Death Scythe Jeton will be in a stalemate before releasing the next slash. And during this time, it will have nowhere to escape. At this moment, the star god gathered his hands together, and a touch of glass-colored energy condensed in it. After hearing Zhang Tianyuan's explanation just now, everyone in the Yanyuan competition area was boiling. Oh my god, is this Zhang Tianyuan? He is so meticulous and his calculation ability is so terrifying. How did he do it? He can even calculate Bai Zi's attack power. We are going to win. We will definitely win this time. On the other hand, Bai Zi frowned after learning about this, and the system backpack opened immediately. If he is about to lose, his trump card is ready to be used at any time. With just one blow, he can destroy this so-called star god in an instant. Unfortunately, the high atmosphere did not last long. Zhang Tianyuan's pupils suddenly widened and he was stunned. Above the simulation space, a big hand brushed slightly. The stars flowed in it, ancient and mysterious. After the big hand disappeared, the energy accumulated in the hands of the star god disappeared, and a long whine came out. Then, the core at its neck immediately broke apart and became a pile of fragments. Jiang Tianyuan was stunned, Bai Ziyi was stunned, including the audience inside and outside the venue, all stunned. The core. It was broken. Zi. The core of the star god disappeared, and in the last long roar, his body disintegrated in an instant, turning into billions of broken mirrors, falling down. Jiang Tianyuan's knees softened, and he half knelt on the ground, stunned. Ding, Yanyuan contestant Jiang Tianyuan, all creatures were destroyed, and it was judged as a failure. Ding, congratulations to the winning contestant Bai Ziyi, who advanced to the next round of the competition. The cold broadcast sound echoed continuously in the venue. But any audience had a very dull expression. This unexpected scene shocked everyone. But the next second, there was a frenzy of noise from Sulan province. We won, we won, we won. Really? Is there something wrong with my ears? Jiang Tianyuan's core was shattered. Although I don't know why, we did win. On the other hand, no one in the audience of Yanyuan province spoke, and their expressions were extremely solemn. Bai Xingguan looked at the big screen and saw the words that Bai Ziyi won. Her throat rolled and her heartbeat accelerated. In the referee's seat, several principals didn't understand what was going on. How could it be? The principal of Yan University looked dull. Jiang Tianyuan had just said that he had deliberately used a defensive prop card. He calculated Bai Ziyi's maximum damage so that the core would not be shattered in one move. But why did it still shatter in the end? I feel that there was a high probability of a stalemate just now. Jiang Tianyuan must have miscalculated or underestimated Bai Ziyi's maximum damage. That slash has already broken the core. It's just that it hasn't cracked yet for a while. The principals gathered together to analyze something. Because as referees, they really didn't feel that Bai Ziyi was suspected of cheating. They didn't feel that anyone intervened in the battlefield to help Bai Ziyi. At the same time, on the other side, at the top of the venue, there was an illusory human figure swaying in the wind. He was in a good mood and muttered to himself, "The victory is already determined, so don't expose your strength. Bring more of your methods to the stage of the finals. I'm still looking forward to you letting me see the posture of a true god." After saying that, the figure laughed lightly and finally disappeared in the sky. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the Beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 483. After the battle, Bai Ziyi became the third person to advance to the semi-finals. When he stepped off the stage, he was greeted by the crowds and cheers of many spectators. Tang Qingcheng and Xia Yunyu also came to greet him. Congratulations, you have entered the semi-finals. Tomorrow is the last game before the finals. But the special prize is guaranteed, which is a cause for celebration. Bai Ziyi heard their words, but his thoughts gradually drifted away. To be honest, he was a little confused about what happened at that time. After the Death Scythe Jeton's attack, it was clear that the opponent's core was not shattered, and no more damage was done. Bai Ziyi had his trump card ready to release it at any time. As a result, for some reason, the core of the star god suddenly shattered. Everything seemed too weird and unreasonable. On the other hand, Jiang Tianyuan was also confused after walking out of the stage. Originally, everything was within his calculations, and there was no way it could go wrong. But that accident happened right in front of him. But it is not practical to appeal or report Bai Ziyi for cheating. Because so far, the referee has not said anything. This also means that even the 10 old principals have not found any clues. To guess, will the referee protect Bai Zi? It is impossible. Not to mention other principals, his own principal is also sitting there, how could he harm his own students? In desperation, Zhang Tianyun could only leave silently, attributing this failure to Bai Zi's mysterious means. Then, the last game of today's game. It is also an important duel for Zhao Qi from Tianjin province to advance to the semi-finals. The fourth game, Zhao Qi from Tianjin province, versus Hong Kong province. Please invite the two contestants to the stage. As soon as these words came out, Zhao Qi stood up quickly. Victory is in front of him, and he will never miss this opportunity. Captain, come on. Yes, Captain, we are only one step away from the semifinals. Zhao Qi heard this and nodded solemnly, just watch, I will win this game perfectly. There is a sentence that Zhao Qi has been holding back in his heart and dare not say. But today, at this moment, he finally has the courage. The god of Tianjin province is about to be born. Most of the players sat in the spectator seats, watching Zhao Qi's battle. This competition is also the last list of promotions. As expected, when the game went on for an hour and a half, the creatures of the Hong Kong players were completely wiped out. Zhao Qi successfully won the game and entered the top 4 in the country. Ding, the creatures of the Hong Kong players were completely wiped out, and it was judged as a failure. Ding, congratulations to the winning player Zhao Qi, advanced to the next round. After the voice fell, Zhao Qi proudly woke up from the battle cabin. In Tianjin province, there was a deafening carnival. The principal of Tianjin province was also quite excited. Even Yanyun Academy, which was originally ranked second in the country, has never entered the top 4 in the country. But they, Tianjin, have entered the top 4 in the country. All this is thanks to Zhao Qi. Congratulations to Zhao Qi from Tianjin province for becoming the last player to enter the semi-finals. Then, all the games today are over. Let's immediately announce the list of opponents for tomorrow's semi-finals. After Zhao Qi stepped down from the stage, the host turned on the big screen. In an instant, screams came one after another in the venue. Among these 4 people, the most wanted to see by all the audience is the contest between Bai Zi and Bai Xingguan. After all, they were pulled together before the national competition began. Both of them are world stars, but the world does not need 2 stars. So their duel is to determine the real leader of the future, which is the most exciting contest. Unfortunately, the sky is not always what people want. Seeing that the big screen was spinning under the wave of the host. The first to stop was Bai Xingguan's confrontation with someone from another province, not Bai Zi. And if the order is like this, then in the semi-finals, Bai Zi's opponent will naturally be Zhao Qi. Okay, the list of players has been announced. The first match of the semi-finals will be between Bai Xingguan from the imperial capital and Menhe from the Xi province. The second match will be between Bai Zi from Sulan province and Zhao Qi from Tianjin province. The 4 people sitting in the competition seats all looked solemn, and it was unknown what they were thinking about. Among them, Bai Xingguan's face was particularly ugly, and she was more nervous. However, her opponent was more nervous than her, and was sweating all over. Okay, let's go, let's go. At this time, Zhao Qi was the first to break the atmosphere. After he stood up, he led his 2 former teammates and prepared to leave. Zhao Qi was only surprised for a few seconds about the fact that his opponent was Bai Zi, and seemed to calm down. He did not talk to Bai Zi, nor did he make any ridicule. Seeing this, Bai Zi was also ready to go back. Since we are going to fight Zhao Qi, we must be fully prepared. His strength is not weaker than Zhang Tianyun. In the last game, Zhang Tianyun almost forced Bai Zi into a desperate situation and almost revealed his trump card. Zhao Qi in this game must not be taken lightly. Let's go back. Bai Ziyi found Xia Yunyu and Tang Qingcheng and prepared to go to the hotel on the way. After the evening, most of the people in the venue had left. Several principals packed up and left one after another. However, they still couldn't figure out today's game. Especially Principal Yan Yun, who always felt that something was wrong, but he couldn't find any tricks. As for Bai Xingguan, she also returned to the hotel. But at this time, she went to find Zhao Qi. Bai Xingguan repeated almost the same words she said to Zhang Tianyun at that time to Zhao Qi. The other party was puzzled at first, and then seemed to understand something. "My goddess, I understand. Don't worry, leave tomorrow's game to me." "Think about it, how could I lose to Bai Ziyi?" Zhao Qi showed a very frivolous look. His voice became lighter, as if he really didn't take Bai Ziyi seriously. "Tomorrow is the last chance. If Bai Ziyi wins again, he will enter the stage of the finals," Bai Xingguan said carefully. "Okay, okay. My goddess, you've said this several times. It's just Bai Ziyi, I beat him with one hand," Zhao Qi shrugged. Seeing this, Bai Xingguan had nothing to say. After all, everything that should be said had been said to him once. The same was true for Zhang Tianyun before, but he still lost to Bai Ziyi. So in the end, it still depends on Zhao Qi's own strength. Fortunately, in this semi-final, Bai Ziyi faced Zhao Qi, not the one from High Province. Otherwise, Bai Xingguan would really feel desperate. Thinking about this, she pushed the door and left Zhao Qi's room. The latter looked at Bai Xingguan with a little doubt on his face and left. But in the end, it turned into a long sigh. "Beat Bai Ziyi. He he. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the beginning." Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 484. A New Day. It is also the 7th day of the national competition. At the same time, after today, the new year will begin. Tomorrow, the first day of the new year, will determine the national champion. At this moment, the stadium is full of spectators, and the principals have arrived one by one. The competition time limit is 6 hours, and there are 2 rounds of competition today. Bai Xingguan's first game is about to begin. Please welcome Bai Xingguan from the capital and Menhya from the Sea province to the stage. With a call, Bai Xingguan and Menhya stood up one after another. Bai Ziyi sat in the competition seat, staring at the two of them intently. Ding, the information of the opponent player is detected, and the world is being constructed. Ding, the world construction is completed, and the creatures are being transmitted. Ding, the creatures are transmitted, and this round of competition officially begins. With a few orders, the big screen has a scene. To be honest, there is not much suspense in this game. Every audience member knows that Bai Xingguan's advancement to the finals is a foregone conclusion. After all, she was known as the pre-selected contestant from the beginning, and the well-deserved first person in this national competition. Bai Ziyi could feel that he would most likely compete with Bai Xingguan in the next game. He looked at the game screen, and Bai Xingguan used the black goat of the forest and used the power of the sleeping lord a little. Under the double attack, the opponent was completely unable to resist. Defeated in the deep darkness, chaos, and despair. In the 6-hour game, Bai Xingguan only took 2 hours without using all her strength. Ding, Menhya, a contestant from the High Province competition area, all creatures were destroyed and it was judged as a failure. Ding, congratulations to the winning contestant Bai Xingguan, who advanced to the next round. Bai Xingguan walked off the stage and breathed a sigh of relief. Entering the finals did not make her feel so happy, but a little sad. Next, it was the contest between Bai Ziyi and Zhao Qi. As expected of a goddess, she has successfully advanced to the finals. That's right, a goddess is different from a son of God. Do you know the weight of being the first in the pre-selection? In the entire federation, no one can be a match for the goddess. Amid the audience's heated chatter, the host also announced, "Congratulations to Bai Xingguan of the imperial capital for successfully advancing to the national finals. Next, please welcome Bai Ziyi from Sulan province to compete against Zhao Qi from Tianjing province. Please invite the two contestants to the stage." The audience across the country are all watching this moment. Can Bai Ziyi defeat Zhao Qi, step into the top of the competition, and compete with Bai Xingguan? Go ahead, we believe you can win. Xia Yunyu approached Bai Ziyi and gave him a firm look. Bai Ziyi waved his hand and prepared to go on stage. On the other side, Zhao Qi, who was in the preparation room, was surrounded by a group of younger brothers. They asked the same question, whether they were sure and how likely they were to win. In response, Zhao Qi smiled lightly and did not give any answer at all. On the battle platform, the two took the stage one after another. At that time, Bai Xingguan was the most panicked. This was the last chance to kill Bai Ziyi before the national competition. If Zhao Qi lost again, everything would be a foregone conclusion. "Please invite both players to take their seats at the competition seats," the referee said loudly. The two walked forward and shook hands first. Bai Ziyi was ready to enter the glass cover and connect to the main world first. But Zhao Qi stood there motionless. Just then, "Referee!" Zhao Qi shouted, and the loud voice spread throughout the venue. The audience who were cheering and shouting below were all stunned. What's going on? Did something happen to Zhao Qi? The game hasn't started yet, and Zhao Qi called the referee. Could it be that the equipment is broken? The audience looked at each other, confused for a while. Even Bai Ziyi, who was about to enter the battle seat, couldn't help but freeze his movements. What's wrong, this player? At this time, the principal of the imperial capital stood up at the referee's seat. The other principals looked at each other and followed suit. The principal of Tianjing looked embarrassed and didn't understand what Zhao Qi wanted to do. "Referee, I want to give up." As soon as these words came out, the whole audience fell silent. Every audience member had a big question mark on their face. Bai Xingguan's beautiful eyes widened, and even her mouth opened. She suspected that she had heard it wrong. What did Zhao Qi say? What? You want to give up? The principal of the imperial capital frowned. The principal of Tianjing on the side suddenly changed his face. "Zhao Qi, what are you doing? You want to give up?" Zhao Qi saw his own principal and was not afraid. "Yes, referee. I choose to give up this game." Behind Zhao Qi, Bai Ziyi was also shocked. It's already the semi-finals, and it's about to enter the finals. At this time, why give up? Even if it's just a casual fight, what if you win and enter the finals? Even if you are still defeated by Bai Xingguan in the end, you are still the second in the country. No, this is the semi-finals, how can you give up, Zhao Qi? Principal Tianjing was a little angry, but before he finished speaking, he was interrupted by the principal of the imperial capital. Nothing is wrong. There are no rules in the competition. Players cannot give up, even in the finals. Looking back, the principal of the imperial capital looked at Zhao Qi with a serious face. Have you thought it through? After giving up, your opponent will directly enter the finals, and you will not have any chance to regret it. Zhao Qi nodded without hesitation. I have thought it through. What a joke. These two words appeared in Zhao Qi's mind. They have already entered the semi-finals and the top 4 in the country. His goal has been achieved long ago, why bother to fight? Besides, this opponent is Bai Ziyi. Think about what he said yesterday. What Bai Ziyi? It's all nonsense. A man who can knock down Zhang Tianyuan, what can Zhao Qi use to fight? To be honest, Zhao Qi doesn't think that he is stronger than Zhang Tianyuan. I am afraid that even if he uses up all his trump cards, he is not Bai Ziyi's opponent. It is better to give up as soon as possible to avoid being hit in confidence. Okay. Then I declare that this is the semi-final of the national competition. Tianjing Province Zhaoqi voluntarily gave up, Sulan Province by Ze won, and advanced to the national competition finals. The victory came too suddenly, and Bai Ze was stunned for a while. He never thought that he would be promoted to the finals in such an easy way. At the same time, Bai Xingguan stared at Zhaoqi, and her eyes changed. There was surprise, confusion, and a trace of despair. But others didn't think so. They only knew that Zhaoqi gave up and Bai Ze won, leading the entire Sulan province to the stage of the finals. Tomorrow, he will fight against the imperial capital goddess Bai Xingguan. An unexpected ending, but it's a win in the end. Yes, it's not easy to get to where we are today. Tomorrow is the final battle. The two principals of Sulan province discussed with each other, and look forward to the arrival of the finals tomorrow. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 485. Bai Ze was still a little confused when he walked off the fighting stage, entering the finals so easily. But what came nearby were blessings from viewers from all provinces. On the high platform, the host announced loudly, "Tomorrow's game will start at 3 o'clock noon, last for a total of 9 hours, and end at 12 o'clock in the evening. The free time is used for the two contestants to prepare. Including today, we only played one game, so the time was only 12 noon. There were only 2 people left, so there was no need to hold a draw, so there was nearly a day left, all of which was used to prepare for the battle. Congratulations to Suran province for entering the national finals. That's right, no matter what the result is tomorrow, it's already worth celebrating. Tomorrow, we will go all out, so just stay tuned." Principal Tianzhou quickly responded to the congratulations from the principals. Next to him, the same goes for the principal of Imperial Capital. "Just try your best, just try your best." Although he said this, he felt from the bottom of his heart that Bai Xingguan would definitely win. In other words, she can't lose. In the second game, the whole province of Imperial City had lost once. If Bai Xingguan, who represented the Imperial City, lost again, it would be completely over. At the bottom of the empty player bench, only Bai Ze and Bai Xingguan were left. Just when Bai Ze was about to leave, Bai Xingguan came over. Her expression was serious, completely living up to her usual calm demeanor. "What? There will be a match tomorrow. Is there anything important you want to tell me?" Bai Ze turned his head and showed a smile. He had been waiting for this moment for a long time. "No," Bai Xingguan still said the same thing. "Withdraw from the game, you still have a way to survive. This is no longer an exhortation, but a naked threat, or a warning. Is this a threat to you? If you threaten players before the game, I can report it to the referee. Of course this is a joke. Winning without fighting means little to Bai Ze." Bai Xingguan, on the other hand, did not refute. He just said to himself, "That's it for now. I'll say it again. Don't come to tomorrow's game. Everything will be fine. If you come, there will be consequences you didn't expect." After hearing these words, the arcing smile at the corner of Bai Ze's mouth gradually faded away. Bai Xingguan turned around and left. However, Bai Ze was sure that he guessed it right. The so-called danger is on the stage of the finals. If you think about it, if Zhao Qiju abstained before the battle, what danger would there be? Could it be that he was assassinated on his way home? That's too ridiculous. However, it would be impossible for Bai Ze not to come. The previous 7 games have been won, and only this last game is left to touch the championship. Giving up seems a bit ridiculous. "Xiao Bai, tomorrow is the finals, we have to go back and prepare well." Yes, within the rules of the finals, all means that can be used must be brought. Xia Yunyu and Tang Qingcheng stepped forward, preparing to follow Bai Zi out for shopping. Previously, during the duel with Zhang Tianyuan, Bai Zi used up a lot of things. Now, he needs to go to the Genesis building again. The game will start on time at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. After the host finished his report, he also walked behind the screen. Today's game ended early, and the audience left the field one after another. Although it's a bit disappointing, tomorrow's game is the highlight. They will witness with their own eyes the birth of a national champion. The remaining day of preparation is destined to be extraordinary. Like the calm before the storm, Bai Zi couldn't help but think of the night before the college entrance examination. First, he took Xia Yunyu and Tang Qingcheng back to the hotel. After preparing some things and taking a short rest, the two principals arrived quickly. Bai Zi, tomorrow's game is very important. There is also a card here, which contains 1 billion federal coins. If you need to buy something, do it as soon as possible. As soon as the two principals came up, they gave Bai Zi money. It's a pity that the prop cards in the school's resource library belong to the school. Even the principal is not qualified to use it privately. Otherwise, they would probably have to bring Bai Zi in and choose at will. Thank you two principals. Bai Zi did not hesitate. Now that we've come to this point, there's nothing else to say no to. Just stay in good condition. Principal Tianzhou patted Bai Zi on the shoulder. You have to understand one thing. The goddess is different from ordinary people after all. She is even born differently. It is destined that her achievements will be different from ordinary people. If you lose tomorrow, just don't be upset. Bai Zi suddenly smiled and said teasingly, Principal, why are you so timid before you fight? Ha ha ha, this is not called cowardice, this is just a vaccination. He pressed Bai Zi's shoulders, looking very serious. There's one more thing I think you need to understand. What you saw about Bai Xingguan, including the power she showed in the second stage, is by no means everything. It's even possible, not even half. Bai Zi knew this very well, and many people had told him about it. Therefore, he nodded cautiously in affirmation. Okay, I've finished what I need to say. The final battle tomorrow is all up to you. Standing up, the headmaster of Tianzhou brewed his emotions for a while, turned around and said, I have another message for you. Now, it's just right at this time. Bai Zi raised his eyebrows and responded with a smile. Over this mountain, they will hear your story. No matter how the story ends, you will be the last hope of Tianzhou and the last appearance of Sulan province. So, let go and fight, you have the huge Sulan province behind you. Bai Zi did not reply. The headmaster of Tianzhou put his hands behind his back, raised his head and walked out of the hotel room. Looking at the black card worth 1 billion on the table, Bai Zi's heart was surging. He knew that the prop card needed for the game was stable. As for the game, it must be won. After the two headmasters left, many people came to Bai Zi one after another. Bai Zi's mentor, and Tang Qingcheng's mentor. Anyway, the purpose is almost the same, all of which are to discuss tomorrow's game with Bai Zi. By the way, motivate Bai Zi and talk about Bai Xingguan. Later, not only the instructors from the academy, but also the students who stayed in the imperial capital came. Zhao Jinzu and Wang Tiangang came to congratulate, and said that losing to Bai Zi was not a loss. After all, Bai Zi will be the world champion tomorrow. Bai Zi could also hear the implication, and after a brief greeting, he sent the two away. In addition, even Muhan and his friends from the imperial capital came during the trip, and naturally Qin Xinlian was among them. Send some blessings, anyway, they are all defeated by Bai Zi, and don't want him to lose to anyone. They chatted until 6 o'clock in the evening, and finally sent everyone away. Bai Zi was going to take the two girls to the Genesis building for shopping. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbs feed -01, container, Taboola below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 486. In the creation building, almost all the creators knew Bai Zi. After being watched all the way, Bai Zi spent 2 hours shopping before buying all the items needed for tomorrow's game. After all, it was the finals, and he needed to focus on it. So it was normal to spend more time choosing things. Leading the 2 girls, the 3 of them left the creation building at 8 o'clock. Xia Yunya contacted her family and exchanged a few pleasantries. So Bai Zi asked them to go back to the hotel to rest first. I still have something to do and need to go to the Star Alliance headquarters. You go back to the hotel first, don't wait for me, I guess I won't be back until very late. The 2 girls nodded, and Xia Yunya came forward and said, then we'll go back first. Tomorrow's game will be waiting for you in the spectator seats. Just don't worry about the game, don't be too stressed, because you are Bai Zi. Xia Yunya smiled. After that, she and Tang Qingcheng took a taxi and drove away under Bai Zi's gaze. Alone, Bai Zi went to the Star Alliance headquarters. On the top floor, Wang Ho's office. Wang Na and Wang Ho were both there, perhaps because they felt that Bai Zi would come. It would have been fine if they hadn't met, but once they met, Wang Ho was like seeing his own son, and he hurriedly boasted to him. He was in a particularly good mood and talked a lot with Bai Zi. Just like his attitude before, Wang Ho still hoped that Bai Zi would win. Now, he stood on the stage of the finals and had a chance to kill a god. This made Wang Ho look forward to tomorrow's game. Will there really be unexpected results? Come on for tomorrow's game. Don't worry, I will be there to watch the game in person, Wang Ho said with a smile. Beside him, Wang Na also supported her point of view as always. She didn't like Bai Xingguan, and she didn't even want to see her. So, she hoped that Bai Zi could win tomorrow's game. Teach that arrogant goddess a lesson. She has been sitting in this supreme position for too long, it's time for her to step down. Bai Zi, don't worry about it tomorrow, just pull her down. Bai Zi nodded and responded, okay. He knew what Wang Na mentioned. From the beginning, Bai Xingguan had a title, the champion designated by the Federation. On the surface, she belongs to the Imperial Capital Academy, but in fact, she represents the huge Federation. If she defeats the person trained by the Federation, wouldn't it be a slap in the face of the Federation and say that the Federation is incompetent? For such a thing, many people dare not do it. Of course, they don't have the ability to do it. To be honest, Bai Xingguan is still very strong and deserves the title of the Federation Goddess. Okay, let's get back to the point. Bai Zi, let me remind you again, Wang Ho said seriously, tomorrow's competition. No matter what tricks you see Bai Xingguan use, remember to stay calm and don't lose your composure. Because if it's her, anything can happen. Bai Zi listened and remembered it silently in his heart. With Bai Xingguan's ability, he guessed that tomorrow's game would probably be surprising, even incomprehensible. However, isn't Bai Zi himself incomprehensible? Well, okay. It's already 10 o'clock, you should go back and rest early. Don't forget, the game is at 3 o'clock tomorrow, don't be late. After saying goodbye to Wang Ho and Wang Na, Bai Zi walked out of the room alone. He had met everyone he wanted to meet, and then it was his final preparation time. Bai Zi took a taxi and went back to the hotel first. Bai Xingguan was not there all the time. Bai Zi went to her room to look for her, but he didn't know what she was preparing. Helplessly, Bai-Ze entered his own world and made the final deployment. Arrange the lineup for tomorrow's battle, and inspire his creatures by the way. But in the evening, he remembered one thing. I asked the principal of the imperial capital to give the application letter to the god of the Federation before, but I don't know if the other party has received it. Tomorrow is the finals, and Bai-Ze must ask clearly. Fortunately, the finals will start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There was still half a day left in the morning, so Bai-Ze could go to the principal of the imperial capital and ask about this matter. Creak. The door closed, and Bai-Ze returned to the room and entered the main world. The total length of the third-level peak world is tens of thousands of kilometers long. The floating islands of the Dapens, the underwater temple of the Sea King, the sun-never-setting fortress of the meteor bugs, and the space meteorite islands. The rows of forest wooden houses in the Sword and Shield clan are adjacent to the next door Wood Kingdom, building wooden walls. All creatures live, work, and contribute here. The pharmaceutical towers built on the top of the mountains can reflect this. The world is particularly prosperous, and the first emperor and others have made the greatest contributions. Look at the center of the world, high in the sky. There is a floating technology island, and a car driven by magnetism flies over it. There is also a Star Trek train above, like a meteor, sliding along the underground meteor railway. The whole city is covered by the quantum barrier, with a peaceful and harmonious posture. Of course, technological civilization is also divided into classes. The floating technology island has a space elevator, which can go from down to up, and from up to down. As for the bottom, the shadowy world covered by the floating technology island is the slum. In addition, satellites have been erected in outer space. There are also 3 magnificent space stations, which are the masterpieces of the 3 major groups of technological civilization. At this moment, Bai-Ze recruited all the civilizations in the local area. First, he confirmed the number of potions with Aurora. Fortunately, it was useless in the match with Zhang Tianyuan, so there was no shortage for the last match. Even the space potions, there were still a lot left. Then, Bai-Ze mobilized all the creatures and told them a lot of things. In tomorrow's game, the technological civilization will stay until the end as always, and just do enough damage. As for the first to play, Bai-Ze left the opportunity to the Poseidon clan in this game. Then, it was the Sword and Shield and Dapen clans, who entered the game later. There was naturally nothing to say about the meteor bugs led by Hyperjeton. Bai-Ze would stay until the end. As for the remaining tree people, Bai-Ze thought of a trick. Maybe he could catch the opponent off guard in the game. Tomorrow's battle is also the last one. Our opponent is the strongest and most brilliant we have ever met. She stands at the top, above millions of people, and is an unattainable true god. No matter success or failure, no matter win or lose, go all out. After a speech, the ground roared and covered the sky. Even if there are millions of people, I will go. For my God, no matter how strong the opponent is, we will crush him. What about the gods in this world? My sharp blade can break ghosts and gods and kill heaven and earth. For my Lord, I will fight to the death. For my Lord, I will fight to the death. Amid shouts, Bai-Ze was full of fighting spirit and withdrew from the main world. Tomorrow, the national finals. Success or failure depends on this one move. Creation of the world, binding God simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 487. Returning to the present world, it was already 12 o'clock in the morning. The new year officially began. Host, Bai-Ze. Genesis value, 19,000. Faith value, 118. Controlled planet, third level peak mother planet. Possess skills, God's authority, God's eye, God's scepter. Possess extraordinary races, 6, Dapen, sword, and shield, sea emperor, treeman, meteorite, immortal. Possess special items, attack and defense speed potion, space potion, monster cemetery, reparable, S level, A level prop card. System Mall, opened. Finally, Baize browsed his data panel. After ensuring that everything was correct and there were only available means left, he prepared to go to bed. Tomorrow he needed to go to the Imperial Capital Academy to find the principal of the Imperial Capital, so he had to get up early. The room was pitch black, and a touch of moonlight fell in through the gap in the curtains. Today's sky is particularly brilliant, with stars hanging high in the sky and the moon is round and shining. Baize lay quietly on the bed with a peaceful face. But his deep consciousness gradually awakened. Looking around, there was no light around, chaos, nothingness, and you couldn't see your fingers when you stretched out your hand. This made Baize feel strange, and he continued to move forward. At this moment, a dim light suddenly flashed in the distance. Baize remembered that he should have fallen asleep just now. But the environment here is too dreamy, it seems real, but also false. He simply didn't think much about it, and walked towards the location of the light. At the end, a table came into view. Going closer, you can see a person sitting cross-legged behind the table. This familiar scene, Baize recalled it immediately. It was the special space where he had a conversation with the god of the Federation before. Could it be that he came there again? So, Baize walked all the way to the front of the table. The person sitting opposite was wearing a star robe, and there were stars flowing on his exposed arms. It's you, after all. The god of the Federation raised his head and pointed at the seat opposite. Baize didn't hesitate and sat down as he meant. Heh, are you surprised to see me? I received your application letter and will come to see you naturally. You have a competition tomorrow. I chose a good time, right? Baize nodded. The time is not important. The main thing is to see you. So you took the initiative to come to me again, still want to ask about that question at that time? Baize affirmed, yes. Okay then. Surprisingly, the god of the Federation did not refuse this time. But I still have a small premise. Baize showed a puzzled expression, and saw the other party waved his hand. Instantly, the desktop changed. The floating stars gradually moved and connected together, forming a regular star map, with 19 lines vertically and horizontally, a total of 361 star points brilliant and grand. The sky above the two people's heads also changed. The empty space suddenly flickered with light. Then, planets of various shapes and sizes fell beside Baize and the god of Federation. This is... Baize was slightly surprised. The god of Federation crossed his fingers, took the lead in picking up a planet, and placed it on the star point in the center of the table. The next second, the planet floated up, and a black light shone under it, sweeping across the entire table. The two were also illuminated all around, as if they were in the vast starry sky. Come on. If you can beat me in this game of chess, then I will tell you everything you want to know. Baize looked closely and saw that there were 19 vertical and horizontal lines and a total of 361 intersections, which was the Go board he was familiar with in his previous life. However, using the starry sky as the board, holding the star to place the pieces. This scene is really magnificent. Don't you want to know everything? If you accept my proposal, then make your move. The god of the Federation spread out one hand. In addition, if you agree, you can confirm some things with me during the chess game. Of course, I won't tell you directly, I will only answer you yes or no. Baize couldn't help but fall into deep thought after hearing this. But just a moment later, he picked up a ball without hesitation and dropped it directly beside him. Okay. I accept this proposal. Baize smiled at the corner of his mouth, and a white light rose under the chess piece. He had too many questions that he wanted to confirm with the God of the Federation. Now is a great opportunity. Haha, then pay attention. Don't lose to me because of thinking about problems and making wrong moves. He said to Bai Zi in a slightly frivolous voice. Bai Zi naturally knew this. At the beginning, Bai Xingran told me to give up in the third stage of the national competition. Because I will die in the competition, is this true? It is true, the God of the Federation said lightly. He did not look at Bai Zi, but placed a planet on the starry sky chessboard. Bai Zi followed suit and continued to ask, then my death should be in the finals, right? The God of the Federation was stunned for a second, then nodded, yes. Bai Zi took a deep breath, and sure enough, his guess was correct. That is to say, tomorrow is the day of his death? As for why, Bai Zi thought the problem should be with Bai Xingguan, otherwise she would not tell him. Then, let's start to deduce the original logic from Bai Xingguan. I talked to you before and asked you some questions. Bai Xingguan is the main personality, that is, the elder sister, and Bai Xingran is the attached personality, as the younger sister. Yes, the God of the Federation said first. After confirming that there was no problem, Bai Zi nodded. I went to the Imperial Capital Academy before and saw a device in their room. You told me that the device is used to control the divine power in their bodies from blending and devouring each other. But Wang Ho Xing's Huai once told me that the goddess is not a complete body. Only when the two divine powers in the body merge can she evolve. These two divine powers represent Bai Xingguan and Bai Xingran, right? The chess piece in the hand of the God of the Federation suddenly stopped, and looked at Bai Zi with interest. Yes. Click. The star fell again. Bai Zi looked at the whole situation and also made a move. From this, I can draw a conclusion. The two controlled the fusion of divine power and prevented them from devouring each other because of their feelings, not anything else. It's because, they have regarded each other as sisters. Once one party's divine power is devoured, the person will disappear. The two did not want the other party to disappear, so they resorted to this last resort. Is what I said, right? Bai Zi's pupils became deep. The atmosphere in the field became colder and colder. You are right, the God of the Federation replied lightly. Creation of the world, binding God simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 488. After confirming this underlying logic, the next thing is more important. According to Bai Zi's guess, the result should be like this. Theoretically speaking, the time for the device to control the two to devour each other is limited, and one of them will eventually go to destruction. And it should be the master personality that devours the attached personality to complete the evolution. However, the status of these two people is the opposite. The reason is that Bai Xingguan feels useless and doesn't know what to do. Bai Xingran, who became the attached personality, Bai Xingguan, who devoured the master personality. The God of the Federation nodded silently, and said with a little surprise, I didn't expect that you even know this. Indeed, you guessed right. Bai Zi smiled leisurely. Next, the two sisters' problems were almost discussed. It's time to bring up the schedule for the prizes of the competition. Click. Continue to play. To be honest, Bai Zi is not very good at playing Go. In his previous life, he only learned it for 1 year, and now he has almost forgotten it. Facing the wave after wave of attacks from the God of the Federation, he was also a little flustered. Bai Zi took a deep breath. The next question is about the prize of the competition. You say. Bai Zi thought for a moment. The prize for the champion of the competition is the power of origin. The principal of the imperial capital once said that it was discovered 18 years ago and is a unique divine object in this world. Even the Federation has only one. Yes. The God of the Federation nodded and confirmed Bai Zi's question. What I know is that the two sisters Bai Xingguan and Bai Xingran are also 18 years old this year. This is just my guess, or an assumption. Legend has it that some people are born with a companion divine object. Is it possible that this power of origin is the companion divine object when the goddess was born? The god of the Federation raised his mouth and shook his head. It's very likely. And it's not just possible, because it's like this. Sure enough. The power of origin is the companion divine object produced when the goddess was born. You know, the goddess is the focus of the Federation's training. If she had the blessing of a companion divine object since childhood, she would definitely be stronger. But the Federation used her companion divine object as a prize for the competition. What kind of trick is this? The answers to all the questions that can be explained seem to point to that place. Then, based on all the above conclusions, connect them together. The two sisters are devouring each other. Bai Xingguan voluntarily gave up hope of survival. Bai Xingran couldn't bear to see Bai Xingguan being devoured because of family affection. Plus the championship prize is their companion divine object. Bai Xingran was called the internal champion by the Federation, and she is eager to win the championship. Does she want to win the championship, or the championship prize? Bai Zi stared at the chessboard deeply, and his face became solemn. Let's make a bold guess. The champion prize, the power of origin, is the only tool to suppress or eliminate their mutual devouring. Bai Xingran fought hard to win the championship for himself and for his sister Bai Xingguan. The Federation should be involved in this. Some people know about the devouring situation of the two sisters, and some people know that their companion divine objects are the best medicine to resolve this situation. But he took it away when the other party had no ability to resist and put it in the place of the national championship prize. Maybe he was motivated, or maybe a little crazy. But his ultimate goal is to stimulate the abilities of Bai Xingguan or Bai Xingran. Under great pressure, win the championship and change their so-called fate. And the only person who can do all this is you, right? The only ruler of the Federation, the supreme true God. In one go, Bai Zi said everything he wanted to say. His eyes were like torches, staring at the god of the Federation opposite. Time seemed to stand still. Even the opponent's hand holding the chess piece was suspended in midair. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. Suddenly, the god of the Federation laughed out loud, with a hint of appreciation in his tone. Ha ha ha. Good reasoning. I didn't expect you to think of this. The god of the Federation shook his head, and then his tone sank. Jokes aside, you are absolutely right. All this is my will. I just want to stimulate the potential of the goddess. After all, you will never know how much potential you have until you are in a desperate situation. So, am I a stepping stone to stimulate her? Bai Zi asked in confusion. Almost, or should I answer, yes and no? In this last sentence, Bai Zi sensed a huge amount of information. Yes and no? Huh. Okay, thank you for your answer. I roughly figured out the underlying logic. As he spoke, Bai Zi made another move. Now, let's talk about me. Was my death in the finals an accident? Was it an uncontrollable accident? No, the god of the Federation shook his head. Then, Bai Zi hesitated for a moment. Is it Bai Xingran? Finally, he asked. In fact, this question is very strange. Bai Xingran is not a psychopath, and it is also a simulated battle. She can control herself, so how could she kill herself in the game? No, the god of Federation continued to shake his head. This answer can be said to be unexpected. It is not Bai Xingran who wants to kill herself, nor is it an accident that she cannot control. What is it? Bai Xingguan, Bai Zi asked tentatively. Who knows? A chuckle came from the mask of the god of Federation. Yes. Bai Zi. he was particularly surprised. Not by Xingran, but by Xingguan? Why? No matter from the principle of the imperial capital, Wang Xinghui, or the god of federation. The Bai Xingguan we know is a person who is not good at fighting. Facing Long Aotian's harassment, she did not seem to be very tough. To make a metaphor, it is a rabbit. A rabbit will run when frightened, but it will not kill with red eyes. There was a gap in the clues, which made Bai Zi a little confused. After placing another move, Bai Zi suddenly realized that he had fallen into a disadvantage. The attack of the god of the Federation was very strong, and he was thinking about the problem just now and didn't think carefully. At this moment, he has been forced into a dead end. Bai Zi quickly focused his mind and used his lifelong learning to prepare for a breakout. After all, the simplest way was just mentioned by the god of the Federation. Defeat him, and all the problems will be solved. At the same time, Bai Zi was still thinking about what to ask next. If he couldn't defeat the god of the Federation, he had to figure out more information within a limited time. Find out why he died. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 489. Time passed by minute, and the situation gradually began to turn around. This may be due to the fact that the god of the Federation let him go. But at least, Bai Zi's defeat was delayed. During this period, he remembered a very important thing. Or it should be said that this matter itself should be like this. It's just that Bai Zi has been thinking in the wrong direction and ignoring the problem. When asking the god of the Federation a question before, the other party inadvertently said this. So, she has already told you about this. Bai Zi repeated it in front of the other party, causing the god of the Federation to be confused. What? Bai Zi ignored it and was still sorting out his thoughts. The focus of this matter is not on the goddess, or even on Bai Xingguan, because she didn't know. Not knowing means that to achieve that ending, something unexpected must have happened in the middle. And Bai Xingran is likely to know about this accident. She wanted to stop it, proving that once it happened, she could not recover. And Bai Xingran did not behave too radically, nor did he confess to Bai Zi. Judging from her personality, it's not that she can't be honest. It should be that the other party is more confident and is sure that this so-called accident will not happen. And all Bai Xingran knows is who is the person who planned all this. Bai Zi thought for a while and looked forward. Why? The expression of the god of the Federation became even weirder. But through the mask, Bai Zi could not observe his face. Why? Bai Zi spoke to himself, actually, I have been thinking about it. Should I tell this to other people, such as several principals, or several star commanders? Since it concerns my life, I would rather believe it than not believe it. They regard me as a rare genius in the Federation, I think they should not refuse to protect me. What do you want to say? Bai Zi raised his eyebrows and said in a heavy tone, I want to ask you. If it is you, are you able to prevent this accident from happening? The god of the Federation was speechless, but Bai Zi did not give him a chance to reply. Don't rush to answer. Let me think about it. Or, why didn't you take protective measures against me when you knew I would have an accident? And why did you conceal the real cause of the accident? For this question, the god of the Federation resolutely chose to remain silent. Haha, Bai Zi chuckled twice, You naturally have the right not to answer or to choose to remain silent. Then I will skip this question first. Bai focused his eyes on the chessboard, and when the opponent dropped a piece, he followed decisively. In the second stage of the national competition, the teleportation array that protected my creatures. And in the final stage of the national competition, when I was fighting with Zhang Tianyuan, the core of the star god finally broke. You are behind all this, right? At this moment, the god of the Federation was slightly shocked. To be honest, he hasn't shown this kind of emotion for many years. What's the basis? No basis, just guessing. Because I think it's abnormal, the first emperor said he didn't forge a portal. Zhang Tianyuan's methods are very high. I really didn't break the core with one blow /. All this happened is too strange. If it's an accident, this is a national competition, how could such a low-level mistake happen? Then, the only explanation is that someone is secretly manipulating the competition. To sum up everything above, in the entire Federation, there is only one person who can do this in front of 10 principals, right? Bai Zi's mouth twisted in his heart. New machine words, one more thing. Hee, interesting. Well, I can't just keep answering your questions. Yes, you're right. Those 2 times, I was the one who was secretly manipulating. Bai Zi smiled, all the clues surfaced. Since you have admitted it, let's go back to the previous question. You knew I would die, but you didn't protect me. I don't believe that I am worthless in your eyes in the Federation. In addition, you want to help me advance even if you don't hesitate to do it secretly. Why is that? Again, there is only one reason that can explain it. The benefits I get from death are much greater than the benefits I get from living. And it's not that you don't want to protect me, it's that there's no need. To put it more cruelly, maybe all this was planned by you, right? A planet in Bai Zi's hand fell, pressing step by step, and gradually tied. He didn't believe that the god of the Federation would not be able to stop this accident. If even he couldn't stop it, then it would not be him who would be finished, but the entire Federation. Bai Zi, who had a clear mind, continued, you knew I would die from the beginning, and you were eager to let me advance. In other words, if you want me to die, I have to die in the finals. To be more specific, I have to die at the hands of the goddess. Besides, you are not afraid that I will tell other people about this. This proves that you are the mastermind behind the scenes. Because if it was you, even the 10 principals could not stop it. Everything seemed to become clear at this moment. Sitting opposite Bai Zi now is the biggest culprit in this incident. As for why he wanted Bai Zi to die at the hands of the goddess, Bai Zi guessed that it was related to some mysterious sacrificial ceremony. Isn't there such a saying in TV dramas in the past, where so-and-so absorbed so-and-so, and gained such powerful power? Since the god of the Federation can be ruthless and take away the power of origin, the 2 sisters will suffer the pain of being devoured for 18 years. So it's not surprising that he did this. I wonder if you've ever heard that word. However, I have heard this word many times. The god of the Federation held the chess pieces in his hands and remained motionless. Stepping stone. I think this word is particularly relevant now. But, I won't accept my fate easily. Even if the opponent this time is you. Bai Zi lowered his gaze and scanned the chessboard, preparing for his next move. Quiet. The scene was extremely quiet. Snap. It wasn't until the god of the Federation raised his hand and dropped it that a burst of ethereal laughter sounded. Very good. You can guess the step, which I didn't expect. Then my answer to you is only 2 words. Yes. It's pretty much what you thought, that's all. The god of the Federation shook his head and sighed melancholy. To be honest, I am a very talented person. Now that you know so many things, you even know that you will die under my planning. Let me ask you, Do you really want to participate in tomorrow's game? Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the Beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 490. Bai Ziyi was stunned for a second, and then he sighed. I will go, I will definitely go. I have survived the previous games, this is the last one. No one will want to remember the second place if you fall in front of the champion's throne. Haha, the god of the Federation shook his head again. Young man, don't think too much. If you go, you will pay with your life. Some things are destined and cannot be changed. Bai Xingguan and Bai Xingran, from birth, are destined to be entangled by the thread of fate. Either be swallowed by the abyss of fate, or fight hard, hold the broken body to break free from the shackles, and walk into a deeper darkness. And you, my student Bai Ziyi, you still have the opportunity to choose. Ahead, it's hell. The god of the Federation looked leisurely, as if telling a very plain thing. The planet in his hand fell, only one piece, and the ambush designed before, all surfaced in an instant. Bai Ziyi swept across the chessboard and was surprised to find that he had become the disadvantaged party again. Even if you make a wrong move, you will never be able to turn things around. Ha, ha. Suddenly, Bai Ziyi laughed. Even if there is an abyss in front of you and hell behind you, you have to go through it, right? How do you know it won't work if you don't try? Without hesitation, Bai Ziyi dropped a planet with a loud click. At this moment, he was like a chess god, and with one move of God, he turned the tide. Try it. You only have one chance. If you lose, you will die without a burial place, are you sure? The god of the Federation shook his head and saw that Bai Ziyi wanted to break the game, so he quickly blocked his move. Bai Ziyi naturally wanted to win, because he only knew that all this was done by the god of the Federation. But he didn't know how it worked. If he knew the danger in advance, maybe he could avoid it. You're right. But if everything is 100% certain, it won't be my turn to do it. I always believe in one sentence. People who believe in miracles are as great as miracles themselves. The starry sky is beautiful because in the infinite universe, no matter how the darkness spreads, the light of the stars will illuminate it. Bai Ziyi said to the chess game with the universe as the board and the planets as the pieces. The world is the same. Where there is despair, there will be hope. So, I will definitely go. Bai Ziyi picked up a piece from his side and continued to drop it on the chessboard. At this moment, the chessboard was full of chess pieces. The god of the Federation sat there quietly, and under the mask, he showed a relieved smile. Then, he also followed Bai Ziyi's movements and dropped the last piece. Have you thought about it? Haha, Bai Ziyi smiled and nodded. I've thought about it. If you never come back, then, never come back. After saying that, the god of the Federation slapped his thigh and stood up. He raised two arms that looked like stars rolling and began to applaud. Well, since you have made a decision, I think our battle is over. Huh. Bai Ziyi stood up and looked around. He suddenly found that there were only a few chess pieces around him. Looking at the huge chessboard again, this game has entered a dead end, or should I say, a draw. Next, no matter how hard he plays, he can't break this game. It ends in a draw. I won't tell you anything extra. As he spoke, the god of the Federation put his hands behind his back and looked at Bai Ziyi. In an instant, Bai Ziyi felt that the distance between the two seemed to be getting farther, and this space was also collapsing. What? Pieces of deep darkness turned into fragments and fell downwards. The dreamlike scene gradually disappeared. Bai Ziyi stared at the other party, and everything turned into bubbles. Then, I wish you good luck. I wish you can get what you want. At the last moment before Bai Ziyi left, the god of the Federation waved to him. With a long sigh, he took off the mask on his face. Through the starry robe, hidden under its darkness, is a face that encompasses the multiverse. One flower, one universe, one thought, one planet. I still have compassion in the end. This is the last obstacle. If you can't get to the scene, just pretend nothing happened. If you still go, then let me see the legendary power that can break fate. The god of the Federation turned his back and finally disappeared completely with the collapse of space. Outside the dream, the main world. Bai-Ze woke up from the bed and opened his eyes suddenly. At this time, the sun was already high outside, and the dazzling light could shine in through the curtains. He quickly got up and checked the time on his mobile phone. What the hell, how come it's already 3 o'clock? With a gulp, Bai-Ze's throat rolled. Just playing a game of chess in the dream space, nearly 18 hours have passed in the real world. This god of the Federation must have deliberately tricked him, not telling him the time, and waking him up at this time. But fortunately, there are still 10 minutes. As long as you arrive within 10 minutes, it will not be considered a waiver. Thinking to this point, Bai-Ze moved quickly put on his clothes and prepared to leave. To be honest, it is still a long way from the hotel to the competition site. Even if you stop a Diddy car, it is estimated that there is not enough time. However, as I said just now, as long as there is a glimmer of hope, Bai-Ze will not give up. He rushed out of the hotel and ran quickly. At the same time, on the other side, the Imperial Capital Center Stadium. The scene here is unprecedented. The huge stadium is packed with countless spectators. For this final, the stadium has specially launched standing tickets. The stadium that can accommodate 100,000 people now has at least 200,000 people, and it is very difficult to even walk. Needless to say, the live broadcast of the national competition, hundreds of live broadcast channels, all-round live broadcast without dead angles. And in each channel, there are hundreds of millions of people online at the same time. The barrage is like a tide, constantly scrolling down. The audience shouted and roared wantonly, and their pupils were filled with excitement. There are also a lot of familiar faces sitting in the spectator seats. The sons of God who were once eliminated, as well as the trump cards from major competition areas. Zhang Tianyuan, Zhao Qi, Long Aotian, Wang Tang, Qin Xinlian, Xia Yunyu, and others were all present. Looking at the suspended high platform, the expressions on their faces were particularly solemn. It's already 3 o'clock, and the competition is about to start. Well, I just don't know where Xiaobai is now, and I don't know if he has arrived, Xia Yunyu said worriedly. Suddenly, there was a commotion in the sky. Then, the aurora fell from the sky, and 8 dazzling figures floated on the top of the venue. It's the 8 star generals of the Star Alliance. They are coming. An audience member stood up and pointed to the high point. Then, the 8 star generals looked at each other and quickly sat down on the floating high platform. The stars illuminated, and 10 more star points appeared. With the arrival of the star points, it was the principals of the 10 colleges and mansions. Here they come, the principals of the 10 colleges and mansions are here too.